Hey small business owners, welcome to Unleashing Video Marketing for Businesses, where we dive deep into the world of video marketing as top experts reveal their secrets and strategies to power up your growth. Ready to elevate your business? Then get set, camera speed, and action. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Unleashing Video Marketing for Businesses, a podcast designed to give you the best tips on how to use video the right way so you can scale your business. I'm your host, Frank Battiston, and today we have a very special episode. Very intimate, just you and me, no guests. And this is the reason why I want to talk about what are the main pitfalls to avoid whenever you work with a video production company. There is not a book. There is not a constitution of how to work with a video production company like us, but there are ways so that everything runs smoothly. And in our experience, these are the points that we want to address. And please mind, this is not a lashing. We're not going to use any names, just very few experiences that have taught us what is the right way so that we can become an extension of your creative team instead of being just somebody you hire and magically give you results without having any communication. So here we go. Number one, having unclear objectives and goals. Why do we mention this? It is very important to have a clear roadmap of where you want to go with this video. What are your objectives? What do you want to do? What is the tone that you want to achieve? And it's important just for one reason. If goals or objectives start changing across the video, many times what is going to end up happening is that you're not going to get exactly what you want, and your expectations are going to be diminished. So there was one time a client from the medical industry, more specifically to make purchases on medicines. And, they allow you to get coupons so that it's easier for you to buy medicines and, more achievable, way less expensive. And we basically pitched an idea. They wanted a UGC video, a premium UGC video, which is a video that helps people see and experience with their product in a way that it's from a user, not an actor necessarily, or somebody that it is trained so that it looks perfect. It's fresh. It's somebody that just got the medicine, used the coupon, and it was inexpensive and it was accessible, right? So we decided to do something different, a little bit out of the box, and we wanted to make a FaceTime call, like if it was recorded. So we had one view, which is the father talking about, hey, so I know that our son needs this medicine, and I found this place where you can find this brand, where you can find medicines that are very inexpensive to acquire. And, the mom would have this conversation with him, just like if he went on a work trip and the mom stayed back home. When we pitched this, the client said, wow, I like this idea. It's kind of fresh. It's UGC premium. So it's not something where somebody just grabbed the phone and just start talking the usual thing, very influencer type. No, it was something a little bit different, a little bit more of a flow, And, when we actually presented this to the client, like I said, he really loved it. He said, let's do it. Super cool. I liked it. We followed up. We did the shoot. Mind you, when you green light anything, a project, you set specific goals, and our goal was to create this conversation. And we shot it. Obviously, we spent the majority, the production budget on it. And when we came back, I remember it was very shocking because we sent it. We actually had several options where we had a different beginning, a different middle, a different end, and we gave all these options. And when we sent it, we remembered that the client just said, what is this? This is nothing like I wanted. I am very disappointed. Thank God. Because parentheses, we were working with a company that was helping them, paying for this ad. They weren't paying directly for this. So he literally said, I'm very disappointed. This is not what I expected. And thank God we're not paying for this. This other company is. I thought this is what you wanted. We even got you different options. So, of course, we were very professional and we wrote back and we said, what specifically you didn't like, the performances, the visuals, what is it that you didn't like? And mind you, when we shot it in a house that was very, very special, because the room looked like a hotel, like pretty much like an Airbnb. So by doing this, we could place the dad in a different part of town, and then the mom was back in her kitchen and living room moving around, so it looked like two different places. And we said, okay, so what didn't you like? I said the performances were completely off. I mean, these people don't look real. They don't sound like real people. And this is, I, I don't think it was a very good idea to actually use a conversation between them. It should have been just a one person implication of the product and how you use it. We were okay, but you agreed that you like this. Well, when I saw it, I think that it's not working out. I'm like, well, but we gave you a script. What didn't you like about the script? You could have told us, hey, no, this is not working out. So what happened is, he said, okay, let's do it again, but let's do it without too much movement. Have her do this, have her do that. Having no movement, having less of a conversation, actually, we shot it again. So we had to actually address this other company, which was actually paying for their video. It was a special program. And they had to pay more money for us to go over there and reshoot, and this is the thing with video. What is the experience? What is the well, what is the lesson learned in this situation? Video are not like writing essays in Microsoft Word. Once you accept that this is what you want, and once you start shooting, it implicates a team of people that go there, that actually shoot, that actually spend resources, that invest time with equipment. And if we're not clear on what we want, it's not like I said, a Microsoft Word essay where you just delete the sentence and say, hey, let's start all over again. No, you have to rebuild and you have to reshoot again. So in their case, they had to pay for a reshoot. We didn't want this to happen. And the reason we didn't want this to happen is because it's going to be more expensive. And that's why we created a script and a timeline so that everything would be detailed on, okay, is this approved? He approved everything. So what to avoid? Don't change your objectives in the middle of it. Don't change your goals. Talk with a video production company. Say, you know what? Now that I'm seeing it, listen, it's going to be very hard. If you need storyboards, that's another way to actually get a better glimpse and imagine how it's going to be. If you need examples, there are examples out there on YouTube that you can use. And hey, this is the tone. This is the energy I want. Don't wait until everything is shot, because if it's not precise, and then just something to add, not to ramble here or to go in another direction. When we asked them, hey, do you want to virtually be on set so that you can see the performances, you can see what we're doing? Sure, send me the link. The client never went into the virtual meeting, which we would show basically the shots and basically the story that was happening during the set. So again, very important, clear goals and engage, be part of it. We are an extension of you. That is the first pitfall. Second pitfall is disrespectful or ineffective communication. And the reason I say this is because, again, I was mentioning that we're an extension, right? Production companies want to be a way to basically you to communicate visually in a very powerful way with an intro, middle, and end that can serve any campaign of your product or your service so that you succeed. Our purpose is we want to see you happy. We want to make you happy. But at the same time, it's like we interpret what you're trying to say with your own words, with your communication, and say, how do we translate this into a script that communicates very powerful your message? Um, and the more you tell us about how you feel, what is the goal, what is the process the way it feels, that's what's called tone. How do you want this to feel? Is high key, family oriented, a little bit dark, funny, uh, dark comedy? It's very similar to even series that you watch. The same thing. Commercials can do this, in different ways. Specifically, they have a story. So, but this is the thing. You shouldn't get frustrated if something is going on and you're not being clear. And we, as production companies, not specifically us, it doesn't have to be us here at PowerTel, it can be any other video production company, and we're having a dialogue, and it's okay, what do you need, what do you want, what is it? Don't get frustrated like, oh, you should know what it's in my brain. Now, don't ask me, it's your job to know. Go and do your job. That's not the best way to approach, because it's not good communication. You're not giving me your view on how your product should be. Once you give me that view, once you give me all the elements, once you give me who's serving, what is your on, who are your patients, or who are your clients, or who are your customers, and then we address what is your market, how specifically this persona would use your product, all these things, then yes, we will go and do our jobs. But we need to be specific. So a very good example of bad communication or disrespectful communication. So the first one, disrespectful communication. The first one, disrespectful communication. We worked for a very long time with a producer that in the beginning, everything was great. He was very effective. He was part of our team, and he was had a unique ability that he was very good at multitasking, very fast. He very resourceful. He had a lot of connections. He has a lot of connections, and because of that, we loved to work with him. But as time went along, he got very accustomed and very relaxed, and that's actually a problem. But we're not going to address about teams and being part of the production company. This is you as a client, very relaxed, and we decided to stop working with him because he didn't understand that he was part of our team. He wanted constantly to be sort of a boss, and we do understand. For example, from the approach that you are the client, that you are the person who is hiring us, right, to create a product. And because of that, you, in a way, are our boss, But in this case, he was part of our team. So we just decided, I think it's better if we start working with other people and get other point of views, get other abilities, right? But there's the thing. He started to become one of our clients, right? It happens to be that one of our older clients decided to hire him, right, to become a production manager. And great. We love when people that we work with or have worked with, get new opportunities and grow. We love this. We want the best for everyone. And he decided to basically start working there. And then this company had specific budgets that we worked with, whenever we were basically like an extension. This different internal videographers travel all around the country, and we actually, whenever they came to LA, we would support them, and with lighting, with actually helping them with camera work, focusing, bringing different riggings, all around, basically try to help them move fast, because there was a lot of marketing content that they had to achieve, still have to achieve, in a day and a half practically. So what happens is he starts working there, and, he contacted us and said, hey, I want to work with you, but in a different way. I want to train you so that you become the leader. We don't use any of our internal team. And you actually start being the leader that you, where you actually guide the client, our client, our client's client, and are able to achieve the different marketing topics that we're trying to come across, right? And I said, okay, and then they said, but this is the budget. And it was half of what we were getting before. Actually, that's exaggerating, way less than half. And I said, okay, because you're my friend, let's start. And then if I get trained, if I am able to become basically a director for these videos, with the support of, any, with the support of an assistant, which was what we were kind of making before as a team, I'll follow through and I'll go about it. So I go to another city very close from here, from LA, and I assist and everything. When I went there, actually, I had to do a lot of things, and it was more than just being an electrician. Just so you understand, also a camera operator. I also had to be a grip. What is a grip? The person that actually moves all the heavy equipment around the camera so that everything looks fancy and nice, right? Okay, so what happened is that we usually, that client, their our client's client, the person we're serving, making the video for, usually would order lunch for the crew so that way we can stay in the office and we can actually get everything across quickly and effective. And this time, nothing happened. We had to order from Uber Eats, which is fine. We'll get Uber Eats. But this is the thing. If I'm working, me coordinating an Uber Eats, the person that I was working with got his food in 15 minutes. My driver actually, again, something that I shouldn't have to do because I'm in the middle of work. I'm in the middle of actually getting all the technical tasks done on time. I ordered that food, the Uber. It took 2.5 hours to arrive. Again, not their fault, but it's something that, okay, why do I need to worry about this? I'm super hungry. It's been almost pretty much 8 hours with me eating anything. And very quick parenthesis, very important. Your crew, and this is part of our job, to creating a package, your crew needs to be fed after 4, maximum 5 hours of shooting. If your shoot is longer than that, people need to be fed, and it needs to be part of that production budget, because it's a very long time. You're asking them to be there 10 to 12 hours. So it's just part of the etiquette. Any production company is going to any big production company that it is worth their value, that have a lot of experience, they're going to be expecting this. So this is a good note for you. So anyway, second day, same thing happens, but this time we didn't even get Uber Eats at all. There wasn't any time because we went to shoot in the middle of a state park. They needed to have several testimonials from, the people that they work at the office, and different sections for those marketing videos that they were creating. And we were there at the state park for a very long time. This time I was without eating about 12 hours. And mind you might be saying right now, well, but that's also your fault. Why didn't you advise, did you reach to anybody? I'm getting there. But did you reach to anybody? Did you do something about it? Did you go and have lunch and leave them there? And, oh, I'm sorry, I need to go and I would have deserted the set. And this is not the way we approach things here, at least at PowerTail. So what happened is, I contact this person through WhatsApp, and I'm like, hey, we've worked together in the past before. With you, I've never had, even in other shoots, even part of our shoots, an experience like this where I've never been starving, in the middle of a production. I shouldn't be starving. Is there a way that this can change where you allow to have lunch, to open a lunch time like it should be, but where I'm not requesting it? It's part of the program. And this is what happened. This person obviously was new to this position, was very stressed, had a lot of things in mind, just wrote back in that message and said, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you please write all this that you're telling me, your notes about what's going wrong? Can you write them to me again tomorrow? Right now, I'm out of the office. Of course, this person is in the East Coast. I'm in the West Coast, right? It doesn't matter. When you're coordinating an entire team around the country, it's part of your job. Even if your office hours are past, 5 p.m. are over office hours, right? So this person said, hey, can you do me a favor? It's already kind of late here. Could you write again everything you're telling me, all your complaints tomorrow? Because today I'm not going to remember. I'm high. You're probably going right now, what? Yeah, that's what happened to me and to PowerTail. But why? You said, well, do you allow that? Yeah, we did. Why? Because we trusted this person. We worked with this person so long, for so long. And when you work for an incredible amount of time, you start losing a little bit. Yes, you do still sign agreements and contracts, but then the approach is very different. And this is, I know I went in a tangent, not in a tangent, but long, but I needed to show what disrespect is. There's no need to saying that. It doesn't matter how busy you are. The person that is working with you, again, is an extension of you. They deserve respect. They deserve guidance. And specifically, if they're in an environment which you're not physically there for a specific reason, but they're helping your team, you should be the give them the best possible experience, because in the end, the return is that you're going to get an amazing product if they're fed, if they're heard, if they work with you and they ask questions and you answer them. Believe me, you're going to get an amazing product no matter what. You don't need, even if you're the leader of the project, you don't need to be disrespectful. You don't need to think by imposing myself and by not listening and saying, no, you need this to do this. I am the boss. I'm going to make sure that I'm the boss by telling you these things. You don't need to do that. Power doesn't need to be asserted that way. Power or leadership is by me showing you, I respect you. This is what you can do for me. I know that you have abilities that I don't have. My goal is to achieve this. Can you help me achieve this? Because I don't know everything. But by being together and being a collective, we all help each other because we have different weaknesses and strengths. And together, as a team, we'll be stronger. Okay, so ineffective communication. So sometimes it doesn't need to be that you are being disrespectful. Ineffective is that you're not being clear. So very close, very similar to unclear objectives and goals, but this is different. It has to do with timing. So you have goals. You need to achieve this video or this specific production in a certain amount of time, right? If you don't communicate as a client, and if you, we understand you're busy. You have so many projects. You have so many things to do. And many of these clients can be marketing directors, and they're paying attention to a million things. And we get that. We work with very, very, very awesome marketing directors. They're very busy, but at some point they always get back to us and answer questions or say, "Hey, listen, I'm so sorry, but I was busy. I was with another project. Just mind you, I don't have the answer yet, but can you give me a week? I'll have the answer for you so that we can follow along." So we had this client that is in the food industry, and they wanted to create training videos so that they could actually allow their workers at the plant where they actually process the foods to, like I said, exercise between a certain amount of time, stretch, make everything, uh, healthy so that they don't get strained. A company that is trying to take care of their workers. So once in a while, what they wanted to do is create videos that appeared on screen on top of the ceiling, on top of the ceiling of the plant, and basically have different exercises. And what they wanted to do with these training videos is to basically display them on monitors on top of the ceiling over there of the plant, and be able to give them breaks so that they moved around, they stretched, make sure that they feel good before continuing with work. And there were several, and each one of those videos was 10 minutes long. They had to do all these exercises and take 10 minutes, right? And this is what happened. Again, we had clear communication in the beginning, and this person, she actually told us, so this is what I need. I need to have the video captured, then post-produce. Post-produce means, being edited, good colors, look fancy, look nice, and then that's it. As we were moving along, what happened is we realized that they wanted captions, and caption is a separate service. Like I said, not to deviate, but video production is just like any other business in the world. And this is the problem. Many people, because of phones, and nowadays we basically shoot with phones easy, anybody, we are our own basically producers. They confuse and they think this is just like a hobby. Why are they charging for this extra? This should be part of it. When you go to a supermarket, I'm very sorry, but when you go to a supermarket, you don't go to the supermarket and say, hey, here's $100 bill. And then I'm going to grab everything I want from the supermarket. And then I'm going to come back to the register. And if it's $200 worth of items, I'm so sorry. You are going to just get paid that $100 bill. What do you think about that? Probably doesn't work, right? Exactly. Or, hey, I'm going to give you $10,000. I'm going to get it into the car dealer. And then I'm going to come out with a Ranger, or I'm going to come out with a Ferrari. They're going to go, well, it's not going to be $10,000. So it's going to, no. You keep the $10,000. This is what is going to be worth. You can't dictate that, right? That's not the world that we live in. So the same thing with video production. There's scopes. So, and we're going to talk about this later on about scopes. But when you get out of that, unfortunately, it requires teams. It requires time. It requires specialties that you need to add to that budget so that you're able to get that project across, no matter what. And it's life. So captions started going back to the client story, this food client story. She started adding captions. Then she wanted to add graphics. And because we said, okay, well, if it's graphics, it's going to be this. No, let's do something. I'm going to do the graphics with somebody in the team internally. And then I'm going to pass you those projects. Basically, the project is the session in the program that basically where you can change the graphics so that it's, instead of saying this, it says this, but with a certain style and color and effect, right? That somebody else did. I'm going to pass you this, and you just start changing and creating these different elements across the project. Where, okay, probably it's not going to be as expensive, but we still are going to be manipulating graphics. So we need this graphics person to be, oh, but why are you charging this? This is insane. This is not what we talked about. Okay, let me get back to my team, and we'll continue with this project. I'll get back to you. My friends, a week passed, 2 weeks passed, 3 weeks passed, 4 weeks passed, and it was a month. And we were, okay, this is out of our contract. Why? What's going on? And you're probably thinking, why didn't you communicate during this time? 4 weeks. Believe me, we were. So we were emailing, texting back. Hey, so how are we doing? Are we going to finally be doing the graphics? Are we going to be editing? What's going on? What's going to happen? Nothing. Silent. Zero. And what started happening? We're like, oh, wow. Did they drop the project? We're not going to get paid. We usually get asked for a deposit. Many production companies are going to be like this. They're going to ask you for a deposit. And then in the end of the project, if everything happens and everything is well, you pay the second half. And many others just charge you by milestones. So 60%, then suddenly 30%, then suddenly the rest, right? When you give the deliverables. And so we thought, wow, something happened. Either they dropped the project, or this person probably got moved from the department and is no longer responsible for the project we were working on. So we obviously, the only thing we knew to do is that she had an assistant, and we're like, we're going to ask her assistant if something is wrong, if there's some, hey, this person, did something happen? Is she okay? It could be health issues, right? It doesn't have to be that the company that she was working for dropped the project, or that she, got let go. It could be also health issues. It could be so many things, and that would be okay. We just needed to know what was going on. It had been a month. So we talked to her assistant. We wrote and say, hey, I want to know if this person is okay. We just want to make sure to follow up. We haven't heard back. This person, so half an hour later, this person wrote to us in WhatsApp, which was another way of communication, just because we knew each other from the past, working for another client. Now she worked for this food company before she worked for another company that we worked in the past, right? And she said, I find it lame that you contact my assistant super disrespectful, super out of line, that you talk to my assistant and request a status. She has nothing to do with this. I'm the leader of the project. So please refrain to talking to anybody else. You talk to me. You tell me, what are your thoughts? I've asked another friend of mine from my original country in Colombia, a marketing director, what she thought. She said, well, you're right. I mean, it could have been different. You probably should have not talked directly to her assistant. My friends, a month, a month. We don't know anybody else in the company, only her assistant, which is coordinating all the logistics of the video. We just asked, is she okay? What's going on? Should we follow through? And this was the answer again. So, ineffective communication and disrespectful communication doesn't work. It goes bad. It creates a sour experience for that extension, this team that you're hiring, this video production company, and yourself. Because now this video production company is going to be, oh, okay, so I'm going to be more strict about it in my contracts, which is our lesson, right? We always learn a lesson. We never blame anybody. We never blame these very specific, rare experiences with clients. We just go, what did we do wrong that we projected ourselves in the wrong way? Again, we're contractors, just the same way that you basically contract anybody. T-Mobile Business. Sorry, I'm not trying to, no sponsorship. There's nothing here, but the same way they would go, well, if after a month or two, you don't pay your phone bill, I'm not going to say what could happen. What would happen, guys? You tell me. Right? So same thing. So this, ineffective communication, there's no need to be this way. Just be clear. If you're busy, if your internal team is trying to, okay, this is not the way we want to go. We need these graphics to be this way, and we need this XYZ. Just be, hey, guys, I had already communicated with the production company. I need to update them, address what's changing. This might increase the budget. This might change the budget, unfortunately. But if this is what we want, where we want to go, we need to be open-minded about this. I will tell them that we're not ready yet to communicate what we at the end want to do in the end. So I'm just going to let them know I'll get back to you, to the production company, in a week, in 2 weeks. That's the only thing. Communication. Okay. Third pitfall, right? Over control and micromanagement. You are the leader. You are the person in charge of your project. You're the person who tells us, so these are my goals. This is the tone. These are the people that I'm selling to. This is what I want. Absolutely. That's why we're here. We're here for you and to create a product that serves you. Absolutely. We 100% understand this. And when I mean we're not talking just specifically. And when I mean we're when I mean we're not talking specifically about PowerTill. We're talking about a good video production company that has years of experience and wants to serve you the best possible way using all the tools in their arsenal that they've learned across time, right? Okay, so what happens when you micromanage to the point where every single movement has to be thought? And I'm not talking, face in production or a specific part of the project. No, that obviously needs to be approved and addressed. I'm talking about any movement. Like, could we make, while we're shooting, this red color in the frame a little bit redder? Can we make, no, I didn't like this movement. Can we do it again, to the point where you are actually just halfway of the project and you're almost done in terms of the time? Let's say you are supposed to be shooting this project for over 2 days, and then in a day and a half, you've only done half of it because you can't even move. When you don't let people be creative for you, what you create is stalling. And some people could project this, well, I don't like it. Unfortunately, I don't like it. I'm paying you so that I like it. You're paying so that we can give you the best results based on the feedback we get from you, specific feedback. So if the feedback is not specific, then the client is micromanaging, and it's over controlling. It's not going to be effective. The only thing that is going to create is a product subpar to what you were actually expecting to receive. So, an example, we were working with a miniature client. This client created worlds in miniature, not only for movies and series on Netflix, but also for hotels, for different venues where actually this person is so talented. It's insane how talented he is because it's entire worlds with movement and colors and situations where you even see, it's like when you go to theater and then you have different sections of a house and you see that something is happening in the bedroom, something is happening in the living room, something is happening in the garage, and this different situation. And then meanwhile, the neighbor is going around with a leash and his dog and in the park. You see all these situations happening with movement, with colors. Fascinating. Great artist. But what happened? He wanted to control every single bit of it, and he needed to promote these pieces so that he could sell his work. That's how he got a lot of the gigs in Netflix before we actually went there to work with him, and then he could sell it to these venues and these hotels. And he wanted to do a mix of BTS behind the scenes, which is it's great for marketing. Like we said before with the other directors that we've been interviewing in the other episodes, which check them out. It's very good to have a behind the scenes rough version of your work mixed with the final version so that people see, wow, this is what the experience is to work with this certain company. That's what we were doing for him, right? And what happened is that these projects took so long and so much effort because he was questioning every single bit of it. Like, why is this camera not looking like my phone? My phone looks with brighter colors. We're like, yes, but in post-production, we're going to increase and we're going to color correct and we're going to color grade this images, meaning we're going to tweak and we're going to manipulate the same thing like you do with Instagram or TikTok with the filters. Same thing. We're going to tweak it. We're going to increase it. This is actually a better image because it's taking the full spectrum compared to your phone. We could do very little with the image in your phone. With this, we can do whatever we want, but it's going to happen after. Of course, we'll tweak the red. No, I want to see this color of the miniature look exactly this hue. Hue is the type of red. There are many types of red, right? This red now, and I want to see it in the screen now. Do you think the project is not going to get delayed if you request for this type of things? Instead of trusting that this team knows what they're doing, they're going to capture what you need with the full gamut, with full spectrum. And then in the editing room, you're able to change whatever you want and have the flexibility and then have a remote editing session with a client, and you request it. But in production, you have 10 to 12 hours and you have a team that is getting paid a lot of money, or more money than what you would expect, right? Because it's a team, and then it takes way longer than just a day or two or three, and time is money, right? You as a business owner know this. Time is money. So the more effective you are and the less controlling, the more trusting of course, we're not telling you, oh, trust to the wind and, just go and don't do anything. No, that's the other opposite. That's bad, because you're not communicating. Remember what we said, unclear goals, unclear communication, same thing. Don't do that. But we don't recommend you do this, right? With any video production company, because it's not going to go well. But what we do recommend is that you don't go and basically puppet your video production team, because what's the point? You hire these people because they have a view, you like their work, you like what they were able to do before. So that means, okay, they're going to bring these skills and it's going to be fantastic what they're going to project, or it's going to be great, or it's going to be what I want because of their past work, right? And they're trying to use the skills that they have garnered for years, the same way that you're a business owner and you sell your own products and you have garnered so much experience to showcase these products, years of experience. The same thing with us. We have taken so much time to understand not only the technical side that you don't care about, but how to tell a story right, how to create pacing so that you attract your audience, no matter who they are, if it's moms, if it's a teenager, if it's what is it, depending on your product. Is it a toy? Is it a broom? Is it a whatever, you know, um, a product in the kitchen, a pan, whatever it is, it's going to be different every time depending on who your audience is, right? But that demands, and depending on the and what that audience is, it's going to require a different tone, meaning feeling, a different pace. It's going to require a different story, an approach, right? And we're trying to give you this experience, and probably you're like, no, I know what to do exactly, this is it, this is it, okay, sure, let's do that. But no, and show me this and show me this, no. And if there's no trust, then that's why you're probably being over controlling, right? You need to not be over controlling. And how do you do that? Trusting that the team that you hired has the skills to achieve your end goal and your end vision. Okay. Fourth pitfall is inadequate planning and preparation. So you need to understand when is the right time for me to hire a video production company, specifically when it comes with services and products. You need to be well rounded. You need to understand that I have a product that is ready for the market, or a service that is ready for people to invest in, and then give their money so that I get the services, make them feel excellent, no matter if it's a chiropractor or a massage therapy store, whatever it is, whatever it is, you need to be ready for the market. Mini golf toys for adults. And we were, wow, this is going to be an excellent, opportunity. We love to, as you can check out our work. We love to create product videos that absolutely serve our clients, and that help them definitely not only create sales, but actually kind of see the culture while they try to create the toy. All these things, that work for marketing. But what happened is, meeting after meeting after meeting, we realized that he didn't have the toy ready. Actually, it hadn't been even built. So we recommended another team that could help them get, basic the boxing where you sell the actual toy, the design of the boxing, we that team would actually help them, get another team which would create the toy. Basically, he didn't have the toy created. We had to wait for months, and after months, because he was rushing, the toy wasn't up to par, because you could see the edges and the plastic, and it wasn't refined, and when that ended happening is that we did a video for him. Video wise, the actual story, the actual selling that happens in the video was amazing, was perfect, because that's what we do. We love to do it well. But we were never convinced that the toy would be up to the par for the market. Why? Because he was rushing and he wanted to create a video first rather than create a product that it is vetted, that it is constructed, designed so that it's beautiful and it serves your customer. So, what is the lesson here? Don't hire a video production company until you're ready, until you have your service, until you have your solution ready for the market, because you're going to use that. You're going to use the team that is in your office, that you're going to use. Let's say it's a service, the team that is in your office, the let's say if it's a medical office, the patient testimonials, all this. You have to have an infrastructure already before you create an actual video from a team, a production, all this time that we take doing this, because in the end, if it's not ready, it's going to reflect in the video. Let me tell you, cameras, storytellers, lighting technicians, all these things that encompass a video, they're not magicians. It's going to come across the same way that a bad actor would come across, no matter how beautiful that series or that movie looks. And sometimes you probably have seen series that you're like, oh my God, that person is bad, right? The same way it's going to come across. They're not magic. They're just a tool. So be ready. Take care of what your service is, your infrastructure, your office, your plant. If it's a toy that is being built, if it's a toy that is being designed, be ready. before you hire a video production company. The video production company should come last when you're about to market your product. The fifth pitfall is going over your project scope. I promise you, we're going to get here, right? Why is this a problem? So, like you were saying, everything is linked. Communication, not being over controlling, all this is connected. But if you notice, when we were talking about the first points, when you're not clear from the beginning what type of size, the size of the project you want to create, it's not the same thing. An interview with some B-roll. B-roll is just the images that happens behind your team, of your product, how it's being built, or how it's serving how it's serving your customer, all these things, right? But it's not the same thing than saying, well, this time I want a narrative commercial where this man jumps, breaks a glass, falls like Superman, gets and basically falls onto the pavement of the middle of a very busy street in Manhattan. It is not the same kind of project, okay? There's scope. That's what scope means. It's how long, how much, and how big it is, how long it takes, how much it takes, right, to produce this kind of content. How many specialties are we going to bring? Stunt doubles? Do we need stunt doubles? Do we need visual effects, right? Do we need colorists, right? Which are the ones, the people that actually change the color and make it look like a movie and everything after it's being shot, right? Do we need the fire department? Because you're going to create fire in the middle of a busy street. There's so many things. Scope is what it takes to create this in terms of money, time, and resources, right? So when you at the beginning say, well, we're going to create this, please estimate. Give us a quote, estimate based on what we talked. We have an initial conversation and you tell me, this is what I want. Is just going to be another training video, which is going to actually show these elastic bands, and is going to go through exercises and go through this and go through that. Perfect. It's going to be 5 minutes long, right? Perfect. The length, everything was discussed. How many cameras do you want? Well, we want 2 cameras. We want to have tight visuals, at the same time that we create big visuals, right? Shots, right? A lot of things, right? Then after that, can you give me a quote? Okay, I'll give you an estimate. You give the estimate, and then suddenly, let's say you bring another creator that you have internally in your team. And this goes, well, no, I don't want to use this technology. I want to use this other technology. And then cameras, right? And then the video is going to be longer. And, at the same time, we're going to bring the talent from out of town. And you're going to have to do this in 8 hours, no matter what, no matter the type of content, right? In and out, because talent is coming. Okay, perfect. And then also, we need a teleprompter because, talent is going to have a hard time saying their lines. They're not going to memorize it. You see what's going on? It's more and more and more and more. And then I'm like, okay, well, the thing is, if we do this and do that, is going to take this amount of money and this amount of time. And this is what happened with another client. Just a small tip, same client, the food client that we talked about before. Unfortunately, that's why we stopped working with them, because it wasn't working for us, and we try to be as communicative. And in every email, in every communication, we're okay, well, if this happens, if this changes, we're going to create a training video where it's going to showcase a specific tool that is going to help create more exercises, right, for the workers at the plant. Perfect. But this is the thing. If I tell you, well, if we use this other technology, if we use less time, I need more people, right? More people. Less time is more people, because you need to basically overhaul the production so that everything works more and faster, better. I need more people, so these people are going to need to get paid. You need a teleprompter. Well, I'm going to need a teleprompter operator, and I'm going to have to be supervising that the script rolls and everything. And believe me, they said, no, this is the budget we have. You gave us this budget. We need to do it with the budget that you already set. So this is called uh, scope creeping. It's basically moving the scope to a bigger, larger scale when you already set a plan, a perspective, a set uh, pro a set schedule, a set budget. So by doing this, the only thing you create is animosity, confusion, and it's not good. Very similar to the lack of planning point that we spoke just before. Take your time, talk to your team, say, we want all of this. And after you have every detail that you have of the project you want to make, then you bring it. Then you bring it to the production company, because then they can give you something way more accurate in terms of scheduling, in terms of budgeting, in terms of resources, in terms of skills. You see, we measure all these things. What are the people that I need? What are the skills I need? Because we have a lot, but we're not going to bring them all every single time. We're not. There's no need, right? Do I need visual effects artists? Do I need somebody that creates props? We are props because we're going to create this computer from the future. I don't know, right? Commercials, corporate videos, they can do whatever they need to do to accomplish their goals of marketing, whatever it is. Do we need, how many makeup artists do we need? Is it a large amount of talent, or is just two people? We measure these things. And if you don't tell us, and again, when I mean us, it's not just PowerTail, any video production company, if you don't tell us this variance, and they don't have to be, we can dissect, we can break down these elements, but we cannot break them down if we are not told the whole spectrum and truth of what the project is going to entail. So no going over a project scope. Once you set it, and if you want to make it bigger, expect that it is going to change your budget and change your schedule and add more resources, which is going to make this project a little bit more, or probably a lot more expensive. And lastly, 6, ignoring the production timeline. We don't, we hate when timelines are not set, when projects keep lingering and lingering and lingering. You know why? Because the only thing that it creates is lack of precision. And lack of precision means, that your product is not going to end up looking the way you want. And things are going to constantly changing, and things are going to constantly varying. And then it just becomes a snowball where the original concept, which was powerful, had all the points listed, all the selling points, all the story, all the engaging points from the audience start disappearing. And then that beginning, middle, and end starts dissolving. Why? Because timelines create this sense that, we're perfectioning and perfectioning and perfectioning, when in real life, you're not perfectioning. You're just changing the original concept to something that hasn't been thought through fully. And because of this, you're not going to end up with what you want. So timelines get in the middle of other tasks and other projects inside your own company. By taking a longer time, it takes a lot of energy from you. And then by taking a lot of energy from you, you become more and grow more impatient, which means by being impatient, and being, oh my God, okay, yes. What is the natural reaction you're going to get if you get impatient? Is yes, sure. And you start saying yes to everything without thought, or no. Let me think about it. Let me get back to you in 3 weeks. And it's bad, because at the same time, you got to understand, video production companies, just like your business, have other clients. And yes, we build our teams so that we can handle several projects at a time and serve you like if you were just the one person in the world, and feel special, because we want you to feel special. We want you to feel that you're supported. But this doesn't mean, okay, let's linger, because at the same time, what is going to happen is that the video production company, their focus is to give you the best possible service. And by extending a timeline, the only thing you're provoking is that this attention span that the video production company has is going to be spread out. So projects should have a timeline. This is the start, this is the middle, and this is the end. That's it. No need to elongate. any of this. This happened to us with a tea company, no names, with a tea company that wasn't clear, wasn't specific. They wanted the videos a specific way. We shot them. It was beautiful, actually. One of the best projects that we have out there. But it lasted way more than what it should. It should have been about a month. It was a project designed to be a month's length of production, from the beginning, pre-production, to the actual recording, shooting, to the post-production, and then the delivery. And it ended up being almost 3 months because the client elongated the timeline. They said, well, no, we didn't like this. Now let's change this and let's change that, which is very similar to Unclear objectives that we talked in the beginning, but it's different in the sense that this doesn't need to be addressed over and over and over again. Or actually, when you get when you get revisions and you're like, I'm going to tell the video production company what I want changed. Fully, you're right. It's your product. But you know what? This is what you need to do. You need to look at the rough version, at the first version the video production gave you, and address all the points. So I didn't like when this expression happened. I didn't like when this action happened from the talent. I didn't like that you show the product too short. I need this to be longer. All this can be addressed in a list. The wrong way to do it is, so I want the expression to be different. We review it, comes back. So I want, the actor to basically deliver in a different pacing here. Okay, bring it. We put it back, right? No, make lists. Why? Because we want to deliver this on time for you. Don't be your own enemy. Create lists, editing, revision lists. And then that way, everything becomes smoother, everything becomes clearer. And best of all, your timeline will fit with the delivery, with the release of that video, so that you can achieve your potential in selling your product, selling your service, and make everything that you did for this video worthwhile. All right, my friends, that's it. 6 common pitfalls to avoid when working with a video production company. And if you missed on any one of those, please rewind. Don't miss any of them, because if you really go over these and understand that the best way to work with a team that creates video for you, because this is for you, and you respect their time, you are clear in what you want to say, you're not over controlling, and you just respect that timeline, have a good communication. It's just communication. The magic of this overall, what we're saying with all these pitfalls, is just communicate, talk. We're just professionals. We're an extension of your team. You practically know exactly where you want to go, but you don't have probably the technical skills or the storytelling skills, or basically all these selling points, so that basically we know how to create a beginning, a middle, and an end in that ad that you want to create, and change and have different alternatives so that you can change this depending on which part of your segmentation and the audience, what audience you are selling to. We know all these things. And just by you directing, communicating well, we're going to use the best of our tools, the best of our experience, so that you get what you need. And in the end, you're going to have a team that comes back over and over and over again every time to serve you better and better, because we know you better every time. And the best thing, you're going to feel safe. You're going to feel that you are always going to receive what you project. Till the next time, my friends, and thank you.